Hello everyone, our group is honored to present this speech. My group member is Han Dou, Chen Gaoci, Han Ran, Shen Erxi, and Yi Fei Shen. We will show the introduction and then the stage 1, 2, 3, 4 solution and conclusion. As we all know, education involves all aspects of a country because human resources are the primary source of national development. Low literacy rates fundamentally impede economy and social developments, affecting future generations. The lack of literacy education affects literacy rates and education standards, undermining the basis of social progress. Furthermore, in many underdeveloped countries, low literacy rates remains a serious problem. The lack of government attention, the lack of education resources, limited resources, and the weak awareness of learning are the reasons for the low literacy rates. As modernization progresses, the lack of basic culture and scientific knowledge hinders the progress, making it difficult for people to adopt modern trends and stifling society's ability to innovate and respond to rapid change. Improving literacy is therefore essential to the fundamental development of society and nations. To address this problem, less developed countries need to strengthen investment in human capital, especially fundraising and education, to promote economic growth and social progress. This includes programs the critical role of education in national development, pointing out shortfalls in investment in human resources, and developing targeted strategies to increase literacy rates. The best solution started with a social approach that advocates for universal education and ensures its equity. This broad education enables all levels of society to enjoy the basic rights to education, ensuring equity in education, reduce inequality, and democratize access to technology. This inclusive foster individual freedom and overall development, and is essential to a nation's progress.
In the next part, I will propose two opposing models. The first model is government decentralized intervention model. Government intervention can ensure that education is fair and universal. The central feature of this model is the government's overall control and planning of the education system to achieve the improvement of the literacy rate. Under this model, the government can develop national education policies to ensure that all regions follow uniform teaching standards and curriculum. And the government can enact laws and regulations, including compulsory education, to emphasizing universal education and improve the literacy rate to the people. And at the same time, the government is responsible for the education budget, which can ensure that educational resources such as teacher training and textbook development are distributed equitably. For example, the government may set up special funds to support education in poor areas to overcome low literacy rates due to the economic conditions. In short, the model of centralized government intervention can help build a comprehensive public education system, which can improve the basic education level of the whole people and reduce the illiteracy rate. Another model is a community-driven decentralized model. The model is to develop, control, and resource allocation of education to local or community, allow them to design and implement solutions according to their unique needs and conditions. In this model, communities can tailor educational strategies to their specific cultural, economic, and social context. It also can provide diverse and personalized content. For example, to address the high rate of adult illiteracy, communities may develop specific literacy classes or adult education programs. What's more, this can involve parents, teachers, and other community members in the decision-making process to ensure that educational programs are aligned with the needs and aspirations of the community. And the community can establish a community education committee or similar organization responsible for monitoring and evaluating the implementation and the effectiveness of educational activities. All in all, community-driven education programs can be more relevant to community needs. Under the community-driven decentralized model, people can overcome the problem of low literacy by building a consensus and community self-management to improve education. Okay, let's turn to the next part.
Now I will examine the models. First, we explore the similarities and differences between these two models. When it comes to similarities, firstly, both models share a common goal, improving basic education and reducing illiteracy rates. Secondly, both models advocate the needs for standardized teaching quality and examination standards. When talking about differences, we think of variations in resource allocation. The government centralized intervention model mainly relies on government financial support and planning, and resource allocation is determined by the central government. Another model's resource may be more decentralized, relying on community voluntary contributions and support from local businesses. Additionally, the government centralized intervention model may be more macroscopic and less adaptable to different regional needs, whereas the community-driven decentralized model emphasizes proximity to community needs and adapts more flexibly to local educational challenges. Second, we explored points of tension between the models. Tensions arise from contrasting principles. The government centralized intervention model emphasizes centralized education policies and overall consistency, while the community-driven decentralized model prioritizes local management and autonomy. Furthermore, the government centralized intervention models centralized decision-making typically facilitates rapid nationwide policy implementation, enhancing decision-making efficiency. The community-driven decentralized model may be slower due to multifaceted involvement, but decisions reached through consensus are less prone to errors. Next are the assumptions supporting each model. The government centralized intervention model assumes that the government has sufficient resources and authority to formulate and implement nationwide education policies, ensuring universal access to basic education. On the other hand, the community-driven decentralized model assumes that community involvement can inspire residents' enthusiasm for education, fostering community cohesion and enhancing literacy rates. Following that, we explore the causal relationships operating within the models. In the government centralized intervention model, government provision of free basic education contributes to widespread education, reducing illiteracy rates and propelling economic and social development. In the community-driven decentralized model, the establishment of community education committees, parental and local business involvement stimulates enthusiasm for education, improving literacy rates within communities and promoting broader educational participation. Finally, we explored the positive and negative acts of those two models. In the government centralized intervention model, formulating national education policies enhances overall academic standards. However, challenges may arise as nationwide policies may not fit diverse regional needs. The community-driven decentralized model fosters community consensus, motivating residents to actively address literacy challenges. Nevertheless, it may result in varying education standards across regions, hindering the comparability of academic achievements. Now let's move on to the next part.
Okay, let's explore the possibility in stage 3. In order to mitigate the shortcomings of each model, the community-driven decentralized model and the government-led centralized model, we must create a new path that maximizes their respective strengths. The decentralized model helps us understand the value of national resources and standardized curriculum. Localized, adapted, and community involvement are the benefits of the decentralized model. On the other hand, there are three different essential elements explored in Stage 3. They are innovative integration, enhanced benefit for integration, and cultural enrichment. Let's discuss the innovative integration first. Establishing a national framework with regional modifications that allow regional to incorporate context-specific content while maintaining a standardized core curriculum. Furthermore, enhanced benefit for integration cannot be ignored in Stage 3 also. While a decentralized approach could guarantee cultural relevance, local participation, and faster adaptation to changing local needs, a centralized approach could offer resources, teaching training, and curriculum development. For basic education, centralized planning may be more successful, but for specialized or advanced training, localized efforts may be more essential. More standardization in early education could be advantageous, while vocational training or localized specialization could be more prevalent in later stages of education. The last element which need to be illustrated is the cultural enrichment. The government and the community need to make sure that the education given is not only pertinent but also culturally enriching by giving communities a voice in the curriculum and teaching strategies. Now let's move to the next part.
Okay, let me talk about the Stage 4. In response to the innovative integration of Stage 3, many schools around the world cannot open due to the huge challenges brought by the novel coronavirus pneumonia, and many countries have launched distance online learning. Online courses and distance learning can allow students to learn and allow schools to operate normally. The second point is to pay attention to local language communication. In many developing countries, lessons are taught in English or other non-local languages from an early age. In sub-Saharan Africa, more than 1,700 languages are still regularly spoken by 750 million people, a situation that results in children learning to read English but understanding it poorly. Their ability to read and write is hampered by the fact that they speak a language other than their own. Teachers are also often not proficient in the languages they teach. The last point is the diversity of education. There are different cultural differences in different countries across the globe. Immersing yourself in foreign cultures can help you become more open. Interacting with locals and attending events can give you a better understanding of the world. The learning experience also brings personal growth. It can make people resilient, independent, and have a broader perspective on global issues. The Institute of International Education reports that more than 300,000 American college students studied abroad in 2018 and 2019. It can be seen that international education is an important part of higher education. The next section is about solutions on how China can improve literacy. And in the background, China has the largest education system in the world. The Chinese government has passed the compulsory education law, which stipulates that all Chinese children must receive 9 years of compulsory education. The policy is funded by the government and the tuition fees are free. China has improved the quality of education through vigorous reform of the school curriculum and other forms. Education for all, defined as ensuring wide access to quality education for all, including marginalized and remote communities is the best fit for China. In many remote areas of China, there is no formal education and the level of education is limited, and people are basically unable to complete the required 9 years of compulsory education. The country should pay attention to the cultural development of these areas and not let more talents be buried in these areas. Governments need to allocate sufficient funds to improve educational infrastructure and provide resources to support educational activities. Now let's move into the conclusion part.
Addressing the problem of low literature can ensure the development of individuals and countries. This needs to be driven by government and the community, which together can achieve universal access to education and increase motivation. At the same time, each region should adjust the teaching policy according to its own situation to make it richer and more targeted. Finally, we use the diversity of modern technology and culture to explore more possibility of education. Because government model is better than community-driven model, therefore, when we analyze the measures, we put forward China's universal education to community analysis. This is our reference. Thanks for listening.